This is the Big Stories Podcast, where we tell the amazing and inspiring stories from across the Big 12 Conference.
Welcome back to another summer episode of the Big Stories Podcast. I'm your host, Cleon Wall. We hope you are enjoying this time with your family while also getting geeked up about the upcoming Big 12 football season. And prior to that first game of the season, we will debut our new fall format in which we will take a deep dive into BYUtv's Big Stories episodes. Then in January, we will debut our own Big Stories episodes, and we've got some great ones lined up, like the linebacker from Iowa State who is helping families battle cancer, and also a couple of CU students who are providing scholarships to those in underserved communities. I can't wait to bring those stories to you, and we'll give you another preview coming up in the next few weeks, and maybe some of our other episodes. But today, we continue our take on BYUtv's big stories from this past season. So let's start with West Virginia. Now, I really don't remember my junior high school principal, but if it were former Mountaineer basketball great Kevin Pittsnogle, I would definitely remember that. The West Virginia native grew up with a basketball in his hand, dreaming of playing in the NBA.
He was the best 6'10" and better shooter in the history of college basketball. Shot 48% one year from three in volume.
That's his former coach, John Beilein. Kevin averaged over 19 points and 5.5 rebounds per game during his senior year. He played pro basketball, but never played in the NBA, and then Kevin chose to step away from the game. Alicia Riggleman, a high school principal, and one of Kevin's mentors, said he wanted to be known for something more.
He would say over and over, I want to be known as a good husband and a good dad. Being able to separate that is something that I really respect about him, and he's helped me with that aspect of being a principal.
That desire to make a difference led him back to school, where he earned a master's degree in special education and eventually became a middle school principal. But even then, many people still viewed him as the basketball player. When Kevin accepted a principal position at a struggling middle school, some questioned whether a former athlete was qualified for the job. What they didn't see were the years of preparation, education, and hard work that brought him there. He felt the lessons he had learned about grit and overcoming challenges as an athlete, along with his education, had prepared him for that role.
I can tell you, when I got the North middle school principal position, there was articles that said, the former basketball player, can he be a principal? Having no idea what my background was to get to that point, like they just handed this basketball player a principal job, which doesn't work that way. I worked hard to get here, and I don't want it taken away because I played basketball.
Now, Kevin turned that middle school completely around because he truly cares about the people he serves.
He cares about kids, and I think especially at North, he knows what those kids are going through in that community, and he can relate to them.
I always knew him as a basketball player. I'm not sure when he decided to get into education, but I think that this is probably his jam. I mean, this is where it's at, because here he's actually, I think, excelling even more than he did on the basketball court.
So my big takeaway, the labels that are placed on us don't have to limit who we become. Kevin's story reminds us that we can continue to grow, serve, and become something more. And he continues to grow. As of April 2026, he was named the principal of John Kerr Elementary School in Winchester, Virginia. The next big story is all about former Arizona swimmer Amanda Beard. At just 14 years old, Amanda qualified for the 1996 United States Olympic swim team in Atlanta. There she won 3 Olympic medals, a gold in the 4x100-meter relay, and 2 silver medals in the 100-meter and 200-meter breaststroke. Can you imagine that? 3 Olympic medals before she was even old enough to drive. But because that level of success came so early in Amanda's life, so did the pressure and attention that came with it. Amanda recalls one moment after winning silver.
I remember one person asked me in an interview, they're like, how's it feel to lose? Being a young, naive 14-year-old, when an adult tells you something like that, like, how's it feel to lose? You believe them. You're like, oh, I did lose. I lost. Then you start to kind of almost not feel proud. I felt like I had to prove myself constantly because all these people would come to watch me swim, and I was like, I gotta do something amazing or else I'm failing.
The Olympic medals that once brought her joy slowly became a source of pressure. As her body continued to change through adolescence, those internal and external pressures became even harder to navigate. Amanda struggled with her relationships with herself, even facing battles with eating disorders and self-harm. As she fought those battles, her performance in the pool began to suffer as well. But she performed well enough to return to the 2000 Olympics in Sydney and won a bronze from the outside lane. She thought she was back. At the 2004 Athens Olympics, Amanda won another gold and 2 silver medals. And yet, she was frustrated that she didn't feel better, that she wasn't making progress with her mental health. She credits her husband, Sasha, for helping her through the dark times.
It was in the middle of like a fight, and I locked myself in our bathroom, and he was knocking on the door, and finally, like, I went and opened it, and I had like a washcloth on my arm, and I cut myself pretty good that time, and so I had quite a bit of blood, and he was like, okay. I thought, great, I just lost this guy. I scared him. And he didn't run away. He was like real with me of like, we can't be together and have a family if we can't find a way to live a healthier path. And he went to therapy sessions with me, but he was like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to you straight, girly, which is what I needed. I was clinically diagnosed with depression and just really came to terms with the reality of the life that I was leading.
Since the end of her swimming career, Amanda has returned to her alma mater, the University of Arizona, as a coach. Her longtime club swim coach, Dave Sallow, praises her coaching abilities.
A lot of elite athletes say have a tough time being successful coaches because it came so easy to them. It came easy to her for a period of time. Then it became really difficult and dark, but she got through it, and now I think she can share that experience with athletes to get them through the bumps and grinds that accompany elite level swimming.
She also co-founded Beard Swim Company, a swim education program built around helping swimmers of all ages develop confidence, safety, and a lifelong connection with the water. At one point during the height of her struggles, Amanda's college coach, Frank Bush, told her that he just needed her to plug in and swim. And look what happened when she did. That doesn't go to say her struggles disappeared, but she chose to keep going. So that's our big takeaway. Sometimes the greatest victories come from refusing to give up. Amanda's story reminds us that resilience isn't about never struggling. It's about continuing to move forward even when things get difficult. And sometimes the battles we overcome become the very things that allow us to help others. That's going to do it for this episode of Big Stories. We will be back in 2 weeks with another update. I'm Cleon Wall, and Big Stories is a production of BYU Radio.